Russian Foreign Minister Sergey Lavrov called his discussions with his Turkish counterpart very useful. Both foreign ministers did agree that a ceasefire was very much needed for all of Syria and that humanitarian aid should be allowed into besieged areas across the country. Now, while both Lavrov and Cavusoglu presented somewhat of a positive tone from these meetings, it must be remembered that the governments of both countries hold very opposing positions on how to move forward on the situation in Syria. The Russian Foreign Minister Sergey Lavrov also said that Russia will continue its operations in East Aleppo and will rescue it from terrorists. His comments come as casualties continue to rise in the rebel stronghold as airstrikes intensify in the area. The two foreign ministers were also said to have spoken about the situation in Iraq, Yemen, and Libya. Now, as far as bilateral relations, Turkey's foreign minister called for a full lifting of visa requirements for Turkish citizens in Russia and also asked that both countries be allowed to use their domestic identification cards for travel purposes between Turkey and Russia. Lavrov said that certain security measures first still have to be dealt with before Russia can move forward with such a plan. In regards to trade, they both touched on lifting economic restrictions, and both foreign ministers reiterated their aim to reach $100 billion in bilateral trade by the year 2023. The Turkish Foreign Minister Cavusoglu also mentioned that strategic projects with Russia were going along as planned and progressing positively, namely the first nuclear power plant that will be built in Turkey, which Russia will be building at the cost somewhere upwards of $20 billion, and of course the rather controversial Turk Stream pipeline, which will carry Russian gas through the Black Sea and Turkey into Europe. These talks come after the Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan and his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin holding 3 phone conversations over the last week regarding the recent situation in Syria. Natalie Carney for CCTV in Istanbul, Turkey.